Hi, I'm Natalie Schwartz, and I'd like to talk about fetal alcohol syndrome and how dangerous it is to children and parents. Fetal alcohol syndrome is one of the most serious consequences of heavy drinking during pregnancy. It's a devastating birth defect characterized by facial malformations, neurological and motor deficits, learning and behavior disabilities, behavioral and social deficits, and behavioral problems. It's more common than Down syndrome and cerebral palsy because it's the leading cause of mental retardation in the world. I chose this topic because it's a very serious problem that doesn't need to be happening. If all women truly understood the major effects that go along with drinking while pregnant, we wouldn't have much to worry about. Fetal alcohol syndrome is seen in approximately 2 in 1,000 live births, depending upon cultural and socioeconomic status. Some of the physical effects of fetal alcohol syndrome are small birth weight, small head circumference, small widely spaced eyes, a flat mid-face, short upturned nose, and a thin upper lip. The most serious characteristics of fetal alcohol syndrome is the invisible symptoms of neurological damage that results from prenatal exposure to alcohol, such as attention and memory deficits, hyperactivity, and difficulty with abstract concepts. The earliest stages of life are periods of great vulnerability to the adverse effects of alcohol. Embryonic and fetal development is characterized by rapid but well-synchronized patterns of gene expression, which makes the embryo or fetus particularly vulnerable to harm from alcohol. Research shows that patterns of exposure are known to place a fetus at greatest risk for fetal alcohol syndrome, and it includes drinking 4 or more drinks per occasion or 7 drinks or more per week. The outcomes to attributable prenatal alcohol exposure for the children of women drinking in this manner include deficits in growth, behavior, and neurocognition, such as problems in arithmetic, language and memory, visual spatial abilities, attention, and deficits in the speed of information processing. Birth defects related to alcohol use are permanent. A question then arises, at what point in the pregnancy is the fetus affected? The answer is at every point in the pregnancy. There is no time during the pregnancy that a fetus will not be affected by a mother's alcohol use. It has been concluded, however, that different side effects occur during different trimesters when consumption of alcohol by the mother was taking place. In the first trimester, abnormal facial features, bones, and organs are affected. It's said that during the first 4 weeks of pregnancy, usually when the woman doesn't know she is pregnant, is when the heart, central nervous system, eyes, arms, and legs are developing. Alcohol consumption during this time, especially large amounts of alcohol, is crucial to the child's outcome. Later, decreased fetal growth is due to consumption during the 3rd trimester. No matter the stage, though, the fetus's brain is always developing, meaning that it can be affected by alcohol at every point in the pregnancy. There are 4 subtypes of fetal alcohol syndrome, including partial fetal alcohol syndrome, alcohol-related neurodevelopmental disorder, alcohol-related birth defects, and fetal alcohol effect. These different types show partial signs of fetal alcohol syndrome and less conscious across the diagnostic system. People with these types may not have significant brain damage due to prenatal alcohol use. This in turn could then lead to misdiagnosis, including mental disorders such as ADHD, not helping the actual situation at hand. Brain damage is present during and different treatment is needed. Wikipedia quotes D.W. Smith and describes fetal alcohol effect to be extremely important concept to highlight the debilitating effects of brain damage, regardless of the growth or facial features. As adults, people with fetal alcohol syndrome still have problems. An article from WebMD entitled Fetal Alcohol Syndrome explains that those born with fetal alcohol syndrome may have problems controlling anger and frustration and problems understanding motives of others. This will lead to violent behavior, and as a result, teenagers and adults with fetal alcohol syndrome are more likely to be involved with the criminal justice system, more likely than their peers are. Also, those with fetal alcohol syndrome can be especially susceptible to the persuasion and manipulation, which may lead to unwitting involvement in illegal activities. The article then goes on to note two more things about people with fetal alcohol syndrome. 1/3 of those that have fetal alcohol syndrome will have problems with drugs and alcohol and require inpatient treatment. And also they will have difficulty living independently and holding a job. The easiest solution to this would be for women to be more careful. We as women need to pay more attention to our bodies and notice any slight change. When you find out you are pregnant, stop drinking. It might be hard for you to stop drinking for 9 months, but think about how hard it will be for the baby if he has those problems. It will have to live his or her entire life with problems because the mother wanted to have a good time. Fetal alcohol syndrome is a very serious outcome due to alcohol use during pregnancy. Although 100% preventable, fetal alcohol syndrome takes control of many lives across the world. Fetal alcohol syndrome is not curable, but it can be treated to make people's lives easier than they have it. It is extremely important to make people aware of all the side effects associated with drinking during pregnancy and that they are not only affecting themselves but the unborn child to even more devastating amount. Many scientists are continuously studying over the damaging effects of prenatal alcohol use to one's physical appearance and the brain. And scientists are trying to find out exactly why alcohol does what it does to better understand how to treat someone with this type of disorder. Fetal alcohol syndrome is not curable, but it is 100% preventable.